What is up, my APNA friends? I got to tell you, this isn't as much fun as being with you guys in Florida, where we can walk out of this session and go to the beach. But I am so honored to be here. I love getting to spend time with y'all. I love this topic. So, most of you should know who I am because we've spent a lot of time together. But if you don't, I'm Kyle Draper. I'm a former pastor, turned roofer, turned web developer, and now social media person, video marketing therapist. And I am so excited to talk about leveraging social media. This is a talk that I call 7 by 7. And what is 7 by 7? It is 7 videos to use right now, and then 7 strategies to put those videos in front of the right people. As you hopefully know, video is the most important way we can be marketing ourselves for many reasons. One being, it is the only form of marketing that works for you, whether you're working or not. It is always living out there in the interwebs. It is also the only form of marketing that can be turned into every other form of marketing. So why is video powerful? Because from video, I can create other content, short videos, quote graphics. I can create a blog post. I can turn it into a podcast. I can do anything I want with video. But if you're doing one of those other things, it can never become anything else. And so this is why this matters. And so as we jump into this thing, I want to give us a few quick tips. Number one, perfect is the enemy of done. As you start or continue your video journey, you are going to be faced with all these self-limiting beliefs. Oh my gosh, is this really what I look like? Oh my gosh, is that really what I sound like? Ugh, what am I going to say that anybody's going to care about? And we get caught up in this. It has to be perfect. And what I've found in all my years of doing this is all that perfect does is keep you from taking action. And so I would rather you take imperfect action than do nothing, because you're so concerned with it not being exactly right. And so as you jump into this, just go. Don't get caught up in all the semantics of it. The second thing is this: your people want to support your business. I truly believe that. They just don't see you enough. You guys know this. We've all heard it for years, right? People work with people that they know, like, and trust. Well, in 2024, I believe we have to add a fourth word to that, because it's great to be known, it's great to be liked, and it's great to be trusted. But if you are not seen, none of those other three things matter. We are watching businesses around the country close their doors, not because they got bad, but because they got forgotten. This is what I don't want to happen for you guys. And so we've got to show up in front of our people on a regular basis. And the last thing is this: if you're already doing video, stop introducing yourself. We introduce ourselves to strangers. Most of the people that are going to watch your content are your friends. So imagine walking into coffee and awkwardly walking up to one of your friends that goes in to give you a hug, and they're like, "Hey, I'm Kyle." How awkward I just created that interaction to be. This is what we're doing when we're wasting time in the video, in the beginning of our videos, to say, "Hey guys, it's Scott." Nobody cares, or they already know. And so we're going to alleviate ourselves from this so that we can get straight into the content and not waste time with telling something about ourselves that nobody cares about yet. All right. So with that being said, we're going to dig into 7 by 7. 7 videos you need to be making right now. That's the first part. Then 7 ways to get those videos in front of the right people. The most important video that you can do. And side note, you're going to see this QR code on a bunch of these slides. If you scan it, it'll take you to a landing page where you can fill out a form, get these slides if you want them. So that's how you get them. But it's also going to allow you to be connected to me if you choose to do so. So that's what that is. Guys, the first video you need to be doing is your origin story. Who are you? How in the world did you get into this whole nannying thing. I don't think you probably went to school for that. And so you all have unique journeys as to how you found yourself here. And so you need to have a video that tells your story, because it is in our stories where we're the most relatable. And so most of you have heard me say it before, but I love to tell my intro of I'm a former pastor, turned roofer, and now I'm a social media guy. And I always have people that go, "You used to be a pastor. Wow, tell me more about that. Why aren't you one anymore? You used to be a roofer. You used to climb on people's roofs." Nobody wants to ask me about being a social media guy. They want to ask me about my past. Our past is the greatest opportunity we have to connect to people. But most of us, the further we get from our past, the less we talk about it. And so this video could be 2 minutes. This video could be 7 minutes. It's however long it takes you to effectively tell your story. And in a minute, we're going to talk about where all these are going to live and all that good stuff. Number one, is that doable? Right? Put a 1 in the comments. Make sure y'all are alive. If this is doable, put a 1 in the comments for me, right? In the chat. Okay? We got some 1s coming in. I know we do. Number 2 is what I call YouTube future client video. So here's the setup for this. You have a family that has reached out to you about hiring a nanny. And so you have set an appointment for Friday. And so this video is all about this. If you and I are going to meet on Friday about you placing a nanny in our home, what would you like us to know prior to that meeting? Are there a couple things that just, if they knew this already, it would help the meeting go better? And then can we communicate those things in this video in, this is super important, an evergreen way? Evergreen means we don't say names, we don't say dates, we don't say days of the week. So that this video, guys, once you record it one time, you can send this out all year to future clients. See how this works? And then the power of this is when this lives on your YouTube channel, when you do what I say, other videos are going to be on your YouTube channel. And so now we're sending them to a place where other videos exist. They may watch other videos, they might subscribe, and you're positioning yourself to win by giving this to them ahead of time. So that is the YouTube future client video. If this is doable, you're going to notice the trend. I want to see some 2s in the chat, right? This is video number 2. So if this is doable for you, let's confirm it by mashing that 2 and putting it in the chat. Number 3, client testimonial video. Guys, y'all know this. Other people's opinions of us on the internet matter. They just matter. And so we can be a word of mouth agency, right? Like we can work through our relationships, but nonetheless, we need people saying great things about us on the internet. And so you need your past clients to jump on video and tell people how great y'all are. Tell people how smooth the transaction was. Tell people how great the communication is ongoing. You need all those things said. And so you need to start asking your clients if they'll do this. But here's the key. Here's the key. One of my favorite proverbs says this: where there is no vision, the people perish. And so if you struggle to get reviews, this is most likely why. Because most of you probably just have an email that goes out that says, "Hey, would you mind leaving us a review?" And most people won't do it because it's inconvenient and because you have done nothing to cast vision as to why this matters. So you've got to do a better job of going, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I hate to even ask you this, but in 2024, your opinion of us being on the internet is super valuable to our company. And so would you mind recording just a quick 30-second video talking about what it's been like to work with us? Would you mind mentioning your nanny by name? Like whatever you want to say, cast vision for why this matters, and watch more people say yes. Client testimonial videos. Is this doable? Can we hit the 3, and can we put a 3 in the chat if this is a doable video for you? Because the goal here is that all 7 of these become doable. You can do this. Number 4 is regurgitate what you are learning. This is one of my favorite types of videos. And I want to go deep here for a second, because most people underestimate what this is. So as leaders, which all of us should consider ourselves, we should always be learning, growing, trying to better equip ourselves. So we should be reading books, listening to podcasts, watching YouTube videos. We should be consuming on a regular basis to grow. Well, guess what? Most people don't. There's a reason why 90% of the country works for the 10% of the business owners. Because most people are just fine in a job where they don't really have to try super hard. They don't have to get better. They don't have to be uncomfortable. And so most of your people may not read the book that you're reading, but they'll receive the value you're getting from it. So, for example, I happen to have a book here. This is the book that I wrote. This is called Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media. And so what I love to do is when I'm reading and a question or a statement like pops off the page at me, I'll just jump on camera and I'll go, guys, check this out. I'm reading this book called Rethink Everything. And let me read to you what I just read. And then I'm going to read the sentence, and then I'm going to give 20 to 30 seconds of my opinion about it, and then I'm done. It's a very simple video, but here's the power of this. When I do these videos and some of my people go buy this book, they don't think about and reflect on the author. They think about me. I get tagged in pictures and videos of people going, "Thank you, Kyle, for recommending this book to me." And so here is where I am teaching you to play chess on social media while all your competitors are playing checkers. Because now, psychologically, think about this. When somebody sees this book sitting on their desk, on their bookshelf, who do they think about? They think about you, because they wouldn't know this book if it wasn't for you. When they listen to that podcast, who are they thinking about? They're thinking about you, because they wouldn't have known that podcast if it wasn't for you. This is powerful content. And so for you guys as agency owners, how many books out there are about parenting, are about safety, right? Are about maybe like the political climate and how it affects our children. And so there's so much stuff that you could be leveraging as a part of your content. This is why I get so frustrated when people go, "I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm super boring." Get out of your head and get out of your way. This is how simple that it can be. And so, y'all know what's coming. Is this doable? If it is, let's see a 4 in the chat. Make sure y'all are still awake and not taking a nap. Let's go to number 5. Number 5, guys, is local spotlight videos. You should be so entrenched in the city where your agency is. For those of you that have multiple agencies across multiple locations, possibly even other states, you need to deploy this strategy across all of them. You need to be interviewing the principal at the local elementary school. You need to be talking to the guidance counselor. You need to be interviewing the owner of the coffee shop that you go to for your meeting with future clients. You need people to see you in the community. And what's awesome about these videos is we get to include other people. And so when I bring someone else onto my video, not only do I get to tag them so a lot of their friends will see it, but they're going to share it. And so now I get to ride their coattails to a free endorsement of me. This is why this is so powerful. And I have, if you guys want it, if y'all will, I'm going to give you guys my contact information at the end. I have a PDF that is how to conduct a great interview. And if you want it, I'm happy to send it to you. I just need to know that you want it. So whether you hit me up on social, you send me an email, let me know, and I will get you that PDF to help you be better when you're on camera with somebody else. Number 5, is that doable? Can we put a 5 down in the chat if this is doable? I don't know if I'm seeing enough 5s. I need to see more 5s, guys. More 5s in the chat. Come on. Number 6, nanny life. This is just the Kyleism, right? I don't know if that's how this works. Nanny life educational videos. You have to represent yourself on social as the expert you are in real life, right? You have to. You can't just be an expert through your website. You can't just be an expert when you're in person. You can't just be an expert when you're speaking on stage or a part of a panel. When somebody finds out about you and they go to look you up, you have to be seen as an expert. For my business, there are now thousands of videos that represent me as an influential figure in my space. So that when somebody goes, man, have you heard of Kyle? I just heard him speak at a conference. He was so good. Well, that person is now going to go look me up. And if I'm not so good when they look me up, they're starting to question who you are. And so we can't just be good at our job. We have to also showcase how good we are on the internet. And the easiest way to do this is through education. And so I want to give you guys 2 questions that will help you with your content strategy. The first is, what do you get asked the most about nannying? Again, I don't know if that's a word, but that's how I'm saying it. What do you get asked the most about nannying? Start making a list. Guys, you could write down 50 things right here. Each one of those things that you write down should become a video. Some of these could be under 60 seconds. Some of these may take 5 minutes to fully break down. Some of these might need to get broke up into 5-minute series. But what are those questions? The second one is, what are you surprised that people don't already know? So what does this look like? This looks like when you're in conversation with people, whether it's a potential client, a current client, a past client, a neighbor, a friend, a family member, and you reference something and they go, hey, what does that mean? I know I should know what that means, but can you remind me what that means? Your brain should go ding, 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 ding. If they don't understand that, other people don't understand that, and I probably should create a video educating around what that is. Because in every industry, we've all created this jargon that we kind of speak in that's to some degree is code. And people that aren't in our industry don't know what that means. For example, like I work very, very much like heavily in the mortgage world. Well, in the mortgage world, when they say VA, they're referring to veteran assistance. It's a program for housing for veterans. But I also own a VA company, which stands for virtual assistants. And so when I go spouting off, have you ever worked with a VA? I think virtual assistant, but they're thinking a veteran that wants to buy a house. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Right. So I've had to do special education because some of the vernacular we use is the same, but the meaning is different. Here's the one reason before we move on why some of you won't do this. Because doing videos to the answers to these questions is not sexy. It's not cool. It's not trendy. It's not going to go viral. And so if you're not careful, your ego will go, oh, why are you doing this? That video is going to probably get like 37 views, man. you're going to be such a loser. And so you've got to know going in, your ego is going to try to sabotage you. And so you have to be able to say, ego, it's not about us. I'm not doing this video for me. I'm doing this video to serve others. Because as long as we keep ourselves in the forefront of all this, we're going to be very protective of ourselves. But if we can keep other people in the forefront, what's in this for them? You'll show up more authentically and more often, and it'll be a game changer in your business. So, nannying educational content, doable? Let me see a 6 in the chat if that's doable. Now, the last one, number 7 is interview business partners and other leaders. If you have some vendors that you've partnered with in your agency, they need to be on camera with you on a regular basis because they know people that you don't know. And if you trust them at that level, you need to have them in front of your people. And vice versa, then they're going to end up having you in front of their people. If you have a friend that owns a local business that you just believe is an incredible human being, you need to get them on camera with you. This could also look like you decide to start a podcast. What a great idea, right? If you need help with that, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I've only done 152 episodes of mine. So I've done a lot of things wrong, and I'm happy to impart some of that wisdom on you if you see a podcast in your future in 2024. Guys, my favorite video is any video that involves other people. Any video. Because it stretches my reach, it increases my influence, and it keeps me having to do it all by myself. And so it's awesome when I can just lob softballs to other people, let them talk, yet I reap the benefits. So this is why this is valuable. So for the last time in this part of the session, is this doable? Can I see a 7 in the chat if this is doable? And so guys, hopefully you have put all 7 of those numbers in the chat because you believe all of them have the ability to be a part of your content strategy. Some may be easier than others, but they all over time should be doable for you. And they all give you a unique advantage and influence if you will commit to do them. So if you're committed to doing them, now let's begin to land the plane by talking about, okay, cool. We've got these videos. What are we going to do? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to drive people to YouTube on purpose. Because here's what a lot of people do. They go, well, I haven't really put anything on YouTube because I don't know what I'm doing. Or, yeah, I've started uploading videos to YouTube, but like nothing's really happening. And so I kind of stopped. So what we want to do is 2 things. One, we want to treat YouTube like a video library. The more videos you do, they all need to end up on YouTube at some point. And then we're going to go on offense, not defense. We're going to go on offense. And with the future client video, we're going to send that on purpose to people. They're going to click it. It's going to take them to the YouTube channel. Ta-da, there's more videos there. We're going to, in a minute, I'm going to talk to you about something else that you're going to do that's going to help drive people there. You're going to have your origin story. You're going to send that to people to drive people there. So we're not going to just sit on our hands and wait for YouTube to show up. We're going to go on the offense. This is why in my book, right? I told you guys I wrote a book. In this book, let me find one. In this book are QR codes. And so these QR codes take people to videos of me telling stories that I didn't have time for in the book. Where are all those QR codes sending people? To a unlisted playlist on my YouTube channel. So I pick up new subscribers almost every day from people who have bought my book, are then redirected to my YouTube channel, and then choose to subscribe. Powerful stuff. You can do this with flyers. You can do this with handouts, right? You can do this with ads on social. Leverage YouTube on purpose. It can be really powerful. The second thing is now you need to be communicating with your sphere of people through email every week. And not with like crappy canned content. I'm saying now, if you're doing video, you can take your favorite video of the week and send it out to the database. Because the unfortunate part of social is that maybe on a good day, 5% of your friends on Facebook actually see your post. And so the only way to guarantee viewership is to begin to send it to people. Also, what if one day somebody rises up in the government that says, man, social media is too powerful. We're getting rid of it. Right? We almost saw this with TikTok a few years ago. Well, if Facebook decided to can itself like that, well, all my relationships there are gone. So you need to start working on, how do I get all my Facebook friends, my Instagram followers, how do I get their email so that way I own that and I'm no longer a victim to social media changing it up or being removed. This is a powerful way to communicate to people and stay top of mind. Number 3 is 60 seconds or less Reels and TikToks. Guys, here's the deal. I hate to be the bearer of this bad news, but this is the darling of social media right now. 8 years ago, it was live video. Now, live video is practically dead. It gets very little viewership compared to other stuff because Facebook and Instagram don't care as much about it anymore. What they care about is short vertical video, holding our phones like this, recording content. This is what works right now. This is what is getting the most action. And so we have to participate. Do you have to go on there and shake your booty? No. Do you have to go on there and act a fool? No. You can leverage it however you desire. There is an audience for you there. And so you've got to be willing to play in this pool if you want to win on social media. Number 4, guys, show up in their direct messages. DMs are such a powerful way to connect to people. Why? Because I don't need your phone number or your email address. I don't need any of it. I can connect to over 1 billion people all around the globe right on their phone by going in through DMs. And so this is how, if there's people in your city that you want to connect to, if there's people that you've talked to about using your services, but they've gone a little cold on you, and you go find that mom on Instagram and you shoot her a DM video, what a game changer that is. It's sitting at your fingertips. It's available to you. Oh, also, how much does it cost? Oh, that's right. $0. $0 for you to begin a relationship with anyone you want. Yet most of us aren't using it. This is where it's at. I get asked regularly. This actually just happened on Tuesday. Somebody said, hey, you have my phone number. Why do you DM me all the time? And I said, Lisa, because if I text you, it doesn't benefit me on social media. But if I DM you and then you DM me back, the algorithms are going to know that we're friends and you're going to see me in your feed more often. Oh, that's so smart. That's the power of DM. I want people to see me as often as possible. Talking through direct message is a powerful way to do so. Number 5, for my Facebook people, where are my Facebook people at? Whoop, whoop. I want to say, no matter what anybody tells you, it's still the #1 platform on the planet. number one platform on the planet is still Facebook. And so all you young people that may be watching this, don't be crapping on it, because those middle-aged moms that have kids that need a nanny, they might just be hanging out on Facebook still. So, are you active in groups? And I'm not talking about like a nanny group. I'm talking about like based on your personal interests. You like to hike, you like to mountain bike, you like to make charcuterie boards. Like there's groups on Facebook for all of those passions and interests. And so go be a human being in those groups. And if you will comment on people's posts and just be active, over time, people will begin to learn who you are. They'll begin to wonder what you do. And there's a lot of business opportunities sitting inside of Facebook groups that most people aren't leveraging because they're just not thinking about it. So if Facebook is your jam, this could be huge for you. If Facebook's not your jam, skip this one. Don't do it. My favorite one, guys, use video in your processes every single day. What does this mean? This means, one, laying out your process, start to finish, and then asking yourself how many of those steps can become a video. So instead of maybe where we currently just send a boring email or we send a boring text message, can we create some videos that are evergreen, right? No days, no names, no days of the week. And so now this just becomes a permanent part of our process. So when we get to this stage, boom, we send a video. There's process between you and the client. There's process between you and the nannies. There's so much opportunity for you to create video in your processes. And why does this matter? It matters because the more people see you, the better they remember you, but also the more they trust you. And so you need to have this desire to have a local celebrity feel with your people, and not in an arrogant way, in a real way. I need people to remember who I am because I either want your business or I want you to refer me business. And so the more you see me, hear me, feel me, experience me is going to help me win. This is why this matters. Number 7, as we're wrapping this up, is use your stories every single day. Facebook and Instagram. And if you do it from Instagram, it can feed to Facebook. And I think now if you do your story on Facebook, it can feed to your Instagram. Use your stories every day to just show people what your daily life looks like. I hit a curb in our car the other day, destroyed it completely. It's in the shop right now. And so what did I do? Boop, took a picture, put it in my stories. What happened? It created some conversation. Oh no, what happened? Right? A song comes on the radio that I love. I'm taking a picture of my dash. I'm going to put it in my stories. Why? Because it just gets people talking. And so don't overthink this. It's not a big deal. It's just daily life. What'd you eat for breakfast? What are you making for dinner? What sporting event are you finding yourself at tonight? Document your day and watch people's attention towards you grow. So as we wrap this up, guys, we're going to do some Q&A in a second. Last couple things. I want you to be aware of what I call the shadows of social media. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start doing more video and you're not always going to get great response. So some of you, and I've even been guilty of this, you will delete videos because you're embarrassed at how they did not perform. And here's what I'm finding. I run into people all the time that go, "You're Kyle Draper. Man, I've been following you for years. I love your content." And I think, then why don't you like it? But the reality is that some people are just window dressers on social media. They just watch and then leave. And so they're there. You just don't know it. So be aware of this. They are working. You may just not have the data to back that up yet. And then I want you to consider the 10-10-10 principle. This is very simple. Guys, because as important as posting is, engaging with other people is equally important. And so the 10-10-10 principle is this: you should spend 10 minutes a day. During those 10 minutes, you should reply to 10 people's stories and comment on 10 people's posts. Look at the math on this. If you just did this 200 days this year, that's 4,000 touches on people. 4,000 touches. You don't think there's opportunities in there? You don't think there's money to be made? There absolutely is, but you've got to be consistent with it. And then lastly, when you're doing video, guys, switch your background regularly. As much as I like my background, the more I do videos here, the more people's brains go, I think I saw that video already, because they know my background. So switch it up. Do videos in your office, from the car, on a walk, in the parking lot, right? Like, do them from different places to keep the brain guessing. Also, be careful with teleprompters. If you've ever tried teleprompters, most of us are bad at reading them. So you end up looking like a robot. And so I suggest getting a note card that has your talking points on it and just go from the heart, because you're the best at what you do. You're an expert at what you do. And so don't get caught up in that stuff. And the last thing, guys, is this: when you're insecure, call it out loud. Because your insecurities, when kept covered, will keep you from moving forward. But when we uncover those insecurities and tell people about it, we're no longer stricken and handcuffed by that potential shame, and we'll actually proceed with action. And so if I'm feeling fat, I'm going to say it in the video. If I recognize a pimple on my face, I'm going to say it in the video, because I don't want that to have power over me. And in a really weird way, it humanizes you to your people, and they'll like you and feel more connected to you for it. And so, guys, if I can help you or serve you in any way, please fill out the form on the backside of this QR code. You also, if you didn't know, you don't have to scan the code now. You can take a picture, go into your camera roll later, hold down on it, and you will be able to go to the website that's attached to. Go find me on social. My website is kyledraper.com. That's also my email. And if you don't have my book, Rethink Everything You Know About Social Media, you need to get it. It's on Amazon. It's $14.99. It'll be one of your favorite purchases of the year. Guys, it is an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope this has been helpful. And now I believe we've got some time for Q&A. So, what questions do you guys have?
All right, all right. Listen, Kyle has enough energy for all of us. And so I hope that y'all have caught some of that energy. I hope that you are motivated. I hope that you're excited. I hope you're ready to make a video. But we have a lot of questions pouring into the Q&A. We're going to jump right into those right now. One question said, Kyle, can you talk in more depth about getting client and candidate video testimonials? In my experience, most people don't want to do a video, but are happy to write something.
Yes, Erica. Well, first of all, thank you for hosting this and keeping me on track. So I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
It's a great question. Guys, here's the deal. The reason people say no typically is because we did a poor job casting vision.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love to tell people, like, if Erica, if I needed you to say something about me on video, I'm going to say something like this. Erica, here's the deal. I hate that I even have to ask this, but your opinion of me on the internet really matters right now. And if you can do it in video, it's even better, because now people can see you, they can feel connected to you. Therefore, if you enjoyed what we did for you, then they're going to as well. And so if you wouldn't mind, would you just record like a 20, 30-second video talking about the experience you had working with us? And what we're looking for in that moment, Erica, is I want a verbal agreement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking them to whip their phone out right now. I'm asking them, hey, when we get to this point in the process, or 30 days after we start, if you verbally say yes to me, when I come back to you to get what I wanted, your first response is going to be, "Oh, do I have to do this?" But you're going to remind yourself, "I already told him that I would."
Yeah.
And so that's the way that I do it. Most people would just like send an email that's like, "We'd love for you to leave us a review." Nobody's going to do that. Like there's nothing humanizing in that. And so the more human we can be, I think the more yeses we get.
I agree and enjoy that. I like that point of view. Another question said, do you normally, so I guess this is back ending to that. Do you normally just make a phone call to ask for those testimonials? So is this something you're doing on a phone call?
Nope.
No, tell us about
I so okay, so guys, phone calls, because the phone is what we've always had, we assume that's the best form of communication. But if I'm asking you for a video, I'm going to ask you through a video.
it.
So I'm going to record a video. Now, if I'm in person with you, I'm gonna start that process there.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're not in person, Erica, I'm just gonna record a quick video and go, "What's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I hate to ask you this, right? I'm gonna go through that whole dialogue, but the way you're engaging with me right now, I need that on my website of your experience working with us."
Mm-hmm.
And so that way I'm providing the example, right? I'm not going to ask you to do something I'm unwilling to do.
Yeah.
And so if you're a nanny agency that doesn't leverage video, there's really no video on your website. Well, of course nobody's going to say yes
Right.
because they're not even seeing you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I show people like, "Oh wow, you just sent me a selfie video and your baby's in your lap," because I have a 9-month-old at the house right now, it just makes it so much more doable because I'm in an environment that you're in, not in a studio, right? So I would just leverage video to ask for video.
I think that's great. I don't know about you guys, but never ever crossed my mind. So very helpful. I'm very helpful.
Good.
Have another one. Me again. Knowing what you know about our
Oh,
business,
Jamie.
who or what businesses would you suggest that we feature in an interview?
Yes. So, Jamie, there's a couple different ways to look at this. One, we can just look at it geographically, right? So I know many of you have agencies in different, cities in the country, but each one of them serves a specific area.
Mm-hmm.
And so one way is just to interview people that matter in the city that you service. Right? So that could be anybody. That could be a politician, that could be a school board member, that could be one of your best friends that owns a small business, but it's local to a community. The other way to think about it is if like I like drawing like word pictures. And so if you drew a circle around like what your ideal client looks like, what are all the different industries that also serve that person?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're also trying to get their attention as well.
Right.
And so if you thought like, man, we get a lot of work from like the bigger corporate companies in our city.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I would be looking for some of the C-level people inside of that company to get on camera with because their audience is also going to be your audience. And that would be the other way to do it.
I like that a lot. When you're talking about doing these interviews, are these just straight videos that you're making? And I heard when you were doing your presentation, you said that live is not as successful. So we'd gear away from doing this like as a live interview and instead do this as a like, yeah.
Erica, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like we've got to be careful that we're not always just trying to do what's going to get the most views, the most action,
Mm-hmm.
because videos work a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. So even though live video isn't as powerful as it used to be, if I'm like in the room with you and you say something and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we need to talk about that." I'd rather jump on live without losing momentum than to try to say like, "Hey, can we connect like next month and can we talk?" Because you don't even remember what you said anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
so the excitement energy won't be there. And so don't overthink, well, like what's the best way all the time? The best way is the done way. Right? That's the best way.
I'm here for it. Yeah, absolutely. Someone else said, when you're talking about DMing people, would you recommend doing it on Instagram or Facebook?
I would do both. Those are both two incredible platforms for DM. What we don't think about enough is with just Messenger specifically, right? Which is Facebook. There's over 1 billion users on that platform, and I don't have to have your phone number or email to be in your DMs. And so I can connect to CEOs of companies whose gatekeeper would never let me in through traditional communication, but I can slide into their DMs on LinkedIn with a video. And now we're having a conversation because I'm a real person. You just don't know that until we actually get to talk.
Mhm.
So I would use whatever platform benefits you. LinkedIn is probably a super undervalued opportunity for a lot of nanny agencies because it's so geared towards business. And so I would be creating community there, educating people on childcare, because I think it's a super untapped platform for what you guys do.
So if you were making a 30-second video to slide into someone's LinkedIn DM, what would you be saying?
Yeah. Okay. Great question. So I'm weird, right? So I've literally, and this isn't a joke. I'm not fabricating for the sake of being on a live call. I've started messages with like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm not a serial killer. I'm not a stalker. Like I'm a normal person," because that's my sense of humor, and I want to kind of cut through the noise with people. With people, I'll pimp out my kids, and so I've been feeding Ruby, who's my 9-month old, and so she's in my arms with her bottle, and I'm recording a video to somebody, and their response, Erica, is not, "Wow, that's the most unprofessional video I've ever received." Their response is, "Oh my gosh, look at that little baby." And then now we're in a conversation.
Yeah.
And so the goal is to like, if you and I were to just bump into one another at a Starbucks, I'm not gonna like try to go into like uber professional mode. We're gonna have a conversation. And so we should be practicing how conversational can I get looking into a camera
Hmm.
with it without it being weird.
Yeah.
And the only way to get there is to practice.
I really love that. And I love that you were speaking my love language, saying that we would meet in Starbucks, because of course that is exactly how we would meet. We
Of
have a
course.
few more questions,
Yeah.
but our time is running out. So
Oh
there's
no.
everybody that is here today and that's on listening to Kyle's wonderful presentation, coming with all these questions to meet us in about 10 minutes in our think tank, in our community town hall, because there you can ask additional questions. You can get more information. He can talk to you about his book, as well as our other speakers who are joining us in just a little bit. And you can just really digest more of the information that we've received over these last 48 hours. Ask those individuals and those speakers the questions that you may have. Everyone can come on camera. Everyone can talk if they would like to. And we can really take the time to take everything that we've learned over these last 2 days and really make sure that we understand it so that we can apply it. So I encourage all of you not to go anywhere, to meet us back here in just 10 minutes or so. And Kyle, thank you so much again. You're always
You're
inspiring,
so welcome.
motivating. You are straight caffeine in my veins, and I love every
Come
bit of it.
on. And can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Guys, I put my number in the chat. So if your question didn't get answered, text it to me and I'll send you a video answering it for you.
Love it. Love it. We'll see you in 10 minutes,
Okay.
everyone. Take care.